I know this show's about getting attention, but let me tell you what's more important than getting attention. Figuring out what you're going to say first. Because I know a lot of people that get my attention and then the dumbasses don't know what to say and they lose my attention and now they cannot get it again.
Is your business struggling right now? You might think that it's because you don't have enough sales, but the reality is it's because you don't have the attention of the marketplace. This is attention equals dollars. You deserve more. Your business deserves more. And I'm here to teach you everything that I know on how to get the attention that you need and to turn that attention into dollars. Welcome to the Attention Equals Dollars podcast. I'm your host, Luke Nestler, where each week we come to you live from the Impact Media offices to teach you how to master digital attention and transform your business. Listen, in order to find success in business, it requires sales. And before you can ever get a sale, you first have to get the attention of the customer. People have to know you before they can flow you, as Grant Cardone would say. The mission of this show is to bring you my knowledge as well as my expert friends that know how to get attention and more importantly have learned how to turn that attention into dollars for their business. I'm excited about today's guest. You know, a wise man once told me, being broke is a bitch. Getting rich is a bitch. So pick the bitch you want because either way, it's a bitch. That wise man was Brad Lees, the founder of Lightspeed VT. They are the premier virtual training platform on the market. They work with clients like the UFC, World Series of Poker, Grant Cardone, John Taffer, and Top Chef. Brad's the host of the hit podcast, Dropping Bombs, and one of the most brilliant entrepreneurs that I've had the pleasure of getting to know over the past couple of years. Brad, I appreciate you being here, man. Welcome to the show.
Hey, man. Thanks for having me, Luke.
Absolutely. So I always like to start off with just a fun fact on how I met my guest, and I think yours is probably the best example because it's all about getting attention. That's what this show's about, and I grabbed your attention on a platform that I don't think it's even in existence anymore. It might be. It's called Anchor. Brad, you had been putting some content on there, and I chimed in on something. We had never really officially met, but I had seen you at an event. Liked what you had to say, liked the aura about you, your confidence, your good looks, had everything going on. And I said, look, I want to surround myself with a player like this. And you put something on Anchor, and I commented and chimed in, and that literally kind of sparked this relationship that is budding into a potential work relationship as well. So do you recall that happening by chance?
Of course I do.
So what about that actually grabbed your attention? You were a guy that had 1,000 things going on, and one small moment in time grabbed your attention. Do you recall what it was about my response that actually made you stop and pay attention to me?
Well, I think the question was I was posing was about authenticity or how do I find my voice? Because, you know, I wasn't doing a lot of social media, but I was always listening to different people and I didn't want to necessarily sound like other people. And so I just put out there, you know, how do you find your voice? Like, how do you find what your word is going to be, you know, what you're going to be known for? And you responded, you know, ultimately something to the effect of, you know, be yourself, and whatever that is what it is. And I like that because that's my thing, man. I'm real. I like to keep it real.
They do call you the real Brad Lee.
We lying.
So the reason I bring that up is because a lot of people think the only way to get attention online or in any marketing is to spend lots and lots and lots of money. And obviously you do have your paid advertising campaigns, but people do not take seriously enough having a genuine conversation with somebody that might be 4, 5, 6 levels above where you're at. But getting the attention of them sometimes is as easy as just actually providing value to them in a conversation. And that's how this relationship started off. So let's go back to the beginning of Lightspeed. Now, you started this company and took it just from an idea to what it is today. You started it from scratch. Is that right?
Yes. I keep looking for that stuff called scratch. I mean, there's so many things made from it. I went to Home Depot the other day looking for it, and they couldn't show me where it was, but I want to find some more of it. But yeah, I built it from scratch. My mom used to make bread from scratch. Do you know where you even get scratch?
I think you might be able to get it on Amazon. I don't know, whatever it is. You've had plenty of it in over your career, and you've taken something from literally nothing to. You work with some of the biggest brands in the world. take us back to the beginning of it. So when you first started, how did you start to get the attention of some of the names that you work with today, the Cardones, or even the people before them that got this thing jump-started?
Well, ultimately, I identified a target and then got in the proximity of that target. Whether is at a convention, whether you called their office, whether you showed up at their office, whether you sent them a gift, hoping that they would appreciate it enough to give you a thank you or, respond. Ultimately, I would just, get in the proximity of them. Thankfully, now with social media, you can get in the proximity of anybody if you know how to tag and you know how to get it on their feed. So, I mean, you don't even have to drive. Back when I started, there wasn't Twitter. There was no social media. It wasn't easy as it is today.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot to be learned from back in the day when there weren't those tools. One of the biggest thing that people get hung up on is what the hell am I going to say when I get in front of this guy that could be a potential big deal in my business and in my life? And that's important today on social. What you say, right time, right place is a very important thing. And Brad Lee is never short of having the right thing to say at the right time. Brad, were you ever intimidated when approaching a bigger personality than you were at the time that you knew you had to get the attention of them? How did you handle that? How did you deal with that?
Well, you first have to have authenticity, right? Because when you're not confident in what you're going to say, that's when you start sounding like you don't know what to say. And so ultimately, like even just a minute ago when I just said I had to pause, it's only because I want to make sure that I say it in a way that is fully understood by most people, because I know this show's about getting attention, but let me tell you what's more important than getting attention. Figuring out what you're going to say first, because I know a lot of people that get my attention and then the dumbasses don't know what to say and they lose my attention and now they cannot get it again. I see people pop up and it's like, oh, there's that person. And it's just like, I wouldn't say impossible to get my attention again, but my point is be prepared before you get attention. Too many people think all they need is attention and everything's going to change. I've seen people get that attention and ruin the opportunity because they don't know what they're going to say. They're not prepared. They're not confident. They're not authentic, and they're really under some sort of delusion that if they could just get the attention, that's all they need. And if this is what you say on your podcast, I hate to drop a bomb on it, but I would bet that if someone said, what's more important, knowing what to say or getting attention? Well, getting attention ultimately, because if you could figure what to say out. Right. But if you don't know what to say, I wouldn't get attention. I would prepare yourself, get your elevator speech or whatever you want to call it, get your 5 seconds down to where when you get that attention, you can capitalize.
I agree completely with you on that. And that's something that it's important, whether it's marketing or whether it's a one-on-one conversation. You do have one shot, especially whether it's you or whether it's a Cardone or whether it's a local business professional. If I waste your time, the chances of you giving me your time again is slim, and it goes for that on social media. If I look at your content one time, if I get your attention and I'm confused by it, if I'm bored by it, I'm not going to give you my attention another time. So what suggestion do you have to somebody that might suck completely at this right now? They're all over the place. Their shit's out of whack. What do you say to them to actually tighten it up so that when they get your attention, it's to the point? You're not on a 30-minute phone call with them when it should have been 5 minutes.
Practice, train, practice, drill, rehearse. Some people feel stupid sitting there talking to themselves in the mirror. Look, man, if you sound professional and succinct when you get in front of somebody, that resonates with people, especially A-type personalities like I am. So I don't want to hear the 7-year version. I don't want to hear all the nonsense. Like, tell me how you can help me or why I should listen to you, and do it succinctly and with almost an air of confidence without being too cocky. Again, can't stand the people that jump up and, claim that they can do anything and then, they haven't done anything. So at the end of the day, with confidence, but succinctly, which again, it just takes practice. I mean, I always like to, say things that sound intelligent, but guess what? it doesn't always come out intelligent. What happens? Well, you haven't really thought about it and practiced it and mastered your presentation. And then you start to stutter, and then you use a word that you wish you wouldn't have used. Or they walk off and you think, well, did they understand fully what I meant? Well, take it upon yourself. Make it your responsibility to master your pitch. So when you do get someone's attention, you're right there on it. And don't just stop at, what I do, because now they might have a question, and then another question, and then another question. It's called get prepared, man. That's the answer. Get prepared, right?
Absolutely.
Don't get ready. Stay ready.
Yeah, I think that's a lyric from a Big Sean song. It's exactly right. So you're putting all this great content out on Instagram, and it seems like everything that you say is pure gold. And I think a lot of people pure gold. People see that though, Brad, and not everybody is where you're at in your career, and not everything they have to say is pure gold like that. How did you get to that point? Other than you say practice, practice, practice. Your content, everything that you put out is great. It's high energy, and I know you got some people on your team, but what are some things that when you're putting your content out, you're seeing the attention coming to it? Now we're talking social media. What is it that you're making sure is in every piece of your content that you know is going to smack the person in the face and get their attention, and they're going to find value from it?
Well, I appreciate your enthusiasm for my content, and I like how you say, and I know you got a team, which is a slight indication of maybe that's not me doing it. And let me tell you something, friend, it is all me doing it. The only thing I have a team for is to make it look cool.
Absolutely.
I don't have all the software to make to take a picture of me from stage, put the meme in the right font with the big quotation marks, and get a little fire around the edge and then post that. But everything that you see me say, I'm saying, first of all. Second of all, the way I do it is I just keep it real, man. I've learned a lot in my 49 years. I'm 49 years old, bro. And let me tell you something. You learn some shit. And I can tell you this, more than I'm 49 years old, I'm probably 149 from experience. I mean, I had to learn everything the hard way. I've learned through failing, which makes it not failing. Right. Someone asked me the other day, how did you, get by your failures? I go, I have never failed yet. And he looks at me and he's like, what do you mean? Well, I've never failed because I learn when I fail, which makes it a win. So I've never failed in a traditional sense. I've had businesses that didn't work out, but I learned a lot. Right? But from my social media, the reason why I think it resonates with people is because I don't sugarcoat shit. I don't want to be cliche, right? That's not going to help anybody.
Well, it's all going back to the fact that you're real. I mean, everything you're saying, it's your real personality. You're not sugarcoating it because...
Well, you've seen me in person. Am I the same dude online as I am in person?
Same. I want to take this and tie it into something else. Your content, I felt like I knew you before the first time I ever met you. And then when I met you, I was not caught off guard to where I was like, oh, he's different in person. Something that you do online and offline is you have superior frame control. There's a book that I read, and Jeff, maybe you can help me remember the name of it. Pitch Anything. There's a book called Pitch Anything from Oren Clef, and he talks about frame control, to where when you walk into a room, you have to be the person that people are paying attention to, and if you lose that control, you've completely lost everything, whether it's in a pitch or whatever it may be. When I walk into a room with you and there's multiple people in the room, you are the guy that everybody's paying attention to. You're the expert. You have confidence about you. Everything, again, from the style to the way you talk to you demand attention to just the way you look at somebody. You demand their attention. Is that something that's just naturally come to you? Have you always had that confidence, or is that something that you've learned over time? Because when people are online trying to get attention, the biggest reason they're not there in the first place is they don't have the confidence to get there at all.
Well, Luke, I feel that I would be instrumental in perpetuating the high quality image of impact media. I think I could say without fear of contradiction and with perfect certainty, no, I didn't freaking learn it. I think it becomes more apparent when you actually believe in yourself. I mean, listen, a lot of people don't have confidence, and the reason they don't have confidence is because they know they're full of shit. Okay, they lie to themselves all day long. Nobody knows that they're lying to themselves but them. And believe it or not, it breaks down your confidence. It starts to eat away at your self-esteem. You say, I'm going to start a diet on Monday. And sure enough, you procrastinate and you don't start your diet on Monday. And people think, yeah, big deal. It is a big deal, because what happens is you're deteriorating your own self-esteem and your own confidence. I used to do it before. I try not to do it anymore. I think everyone does it to some degree. But if you start doing what you say, you start doing the right things, you start having the ethics that you've been taught, and you know the difference between right and wrong, you're going to start realizing you're a good dude. Even if this person or this prospect doesn't think so, who gives a rat's ass? They're not freaking paying your check before you walked in their office, right? What do you have to lose? See, I see things differently. When I go to approach a prospect to sell you, I don't care if you buy. I would like you to, but I feel like I don't have anything to lose because I don't have your business now. So the only thing I can do is win. So if you tell me no, shit, I had no walking in the door. You don't scare me with your no. And too many salespeople, too many people trying to get attention are afraid of the no. I'm not afraid of your no. Maybe that carries through. I don't know. But let me tell you something about getting attention, because this is what the podcast is about. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So imagine you walk into a room and every single person in the room except one is dancing. Where does your attention go?
To the one that's not dancing.
Right. Now, what if you walk into a room and everybody in the room is not dancing except one? Where does your attention go?
To the person dancing.
See, so sometimes attention isn't being the loudest. Sometimes it's being the quietest. You follow me? If you walked into the room and everybody was screaming and one person was just stone cold quiet, your attention goes to the quiet person. Like, why are they different?
So how do you think that can transition to being valuable online, when you obviously have to be the loudest?
That's where I was going with, man. You gotta be unique, man. Be yourself is my point. I'm myself. Somebody doesn't like me. Hey, I want everybody to like me. I don't want haters. But at the end of the day, if Joey Balls 497 thinks I'm a dick, who cares what Joey Balls 497 thinks?
It's not going to prevent you from being Bradley.
Yeah, like, I don't care what he thinks. Why? He doesn't need to love me, man. I love me.
Yeah.
I know what I do every day. I know I'm providing value. I know that I'm genuinely trying to help people. If you'll notice something, dude, I'm not selling a bunch of shit all day long. I'm not saying, hey, you want the secret? I'll give you the secret. I'll sell you the secret. Even though I could. A lot of people ask me, will you coach me, mentor me? Here's money. Here's money. Do you have courses? Do you have this?
You're putting value out in bringing value to an audience, to where naturally you position yourself as the expert, and that's people are going to gravitate to that.
I'm not the expert.
What do you mean by that? I consider you the expert in your space. Do you not?
A lot of people do, but the problem is I'm not the expert, bro. I just know what works for me. I just know what I did. Now, if you'd be interested to know what works for me, do you want to know what I learned? Then I'll tell you what I learned. But that doesn't mean I'm the expert.
Right.
Okay. If I was the expert, then everybody in the world would be seeking out what I'm saying. I wouldn't be worried about your attention. I'd be getting it all.
Listen, I know we're short on time, and so we've talked about attention. I want to move into something else, and I want you to tell people where they can follow you, the new show you have online. Here's the most important question, and there's not enough time in the day to answer this, especially in one short podcast. We've got the attention. People have got it down online now, but the biggest struggle I see is, how do I take that attention that I'm getting on social media, or maybe I'm speaking around the country, I got attention on me, whatever it is. How have you taken the attention that you've gotten on yourself, whether it be online or in person, and actually turn that into a dollar, into a customer? What's one piece of advice you could give us for that?
Well, again, I think if you're authentic and you get your product down and you're confident in how you can help others, the goal would be to put content out there. I mean, I've gotten a lot of deals from social media. The podcast, people have called and said, hey, I saw the podcast, or I heard the podcast. You were mentioning this. I wanted to see more about you. I Googled you. I'm interested in your training platform. You just want to get content out there. But your question was, how did I make $1?
How do you take the attention? Somebody's paying attention to you now. How do you take that and actually bring them in as a customer, get them to actually convert?
Well, the ideal way would be obviously to sell them something, but if
So you
you'll
have. So
notice,
you're saying you have to know how to sell? A lot of people wouldn't even know that. I got the attention, but a lot of people don't even ask for the sale. Would that be your big tip for them?
Yeah, that and brush your teeth.
All right.
I mean, dude, if I got to tell you to sell something, then you got bigger problems.
This is what I'm getting.
That's not a big tip though, dude. If you got 1 million people looking at you, how do you make money from them? Of course, you sell something, whether it's a service or a product or a solution, because people really don't want training. They don't want coffee cups. They want something to hold their coffee. Like, everything is a solution. So how do you make money from the attention? You're getting attention. You need to let those people know with that attention on you how you can help them, how you can solve their problems. Like, again, I can work with any company and show them how to increase their revenue. And I don't care what company. If I went in and took over a company that was doing $5 million a month in sales, give me 90 days and they'll be doing more. Okay, I can increase the revenue of any company with core universal principles that work for anybody from top to bottom. When I speak at 10X, there's a lot of different people in the audience. There's entrepreneurs who are just getting started. There's entrepreneurs that are, doing 10, 20, $30 million a year. And then there's billionaires in there. There's massive companies at 10X, Ashley Furniture, Vivint, WFG. There's a lot of big companies in there. How do you talk and reach everybody? And I've been thinking about that. And the only way to do it is to bring what I call, universal truths. Meaning, look,
I love that.
Anything that I say is going to apply to you, whether you're just starting or you're already a billionaire. Because it doesn't matter who you are. If you follow what I'm bringing to 10X, you're going to grow your company and you're going to grow as a human being, and you're going to increase it. And how do I do that? Well, a lot of years of mistakes and learning some things and seeing what works and what doesn't work, and basically boiling it down to what I call common sense. I mean, the shit I say that changes lives is the shit you should already know. I might need to remind you, but guess what? There's nothing I'm coming up with that's some secret or formula that nobody could have thought of because I'm so brilliant. I'm so simple, it's brilliant. You know what I'm saying? I'm like an idiot savant minus the savant.
But here's the thing. So in wrapping this up, something that you said to me a couple weeks ago, Brad, that has already helped me, and I think it's important for people to take away. One of the reasons your content does so well is because everything you say is simple. And sometimes it's so simple that it's not what people want to hear. Your big thing now is if you want to do better this year, do more and get better.
I'll be talking about that at 10X.
I know you will. And your messaging, everything is so crystal clear. There's no techno babble. There's nothing confusing about it. And I think that's one of the ways, or one of the reasons you've done so well, is you're a straight shooter. There's no fluff. There's no bullshit. It's exactly what they need to hear. And that is important in getting attention and turning that into a customer.
Well, no, listen, remember what I said earlier? If you walk into a noisy room and someone's quiet, it's different.
Yep.
The whole world is filled with people saying, I'm an expert. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, I'm not an expert. Somebody's telling you, I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. I'm going to tell you shit. I can't tell you what to do. Everybody's different. Everyone's going to say, you need me to be successful. You don't need me to be successful. You got everything you need to be successful. And that's you.
Yeah, it's powerful.
So listen to me. I'm doing it. I'm the guy in the room that isn't dancing. Now, again, someone says, oh, well, that's cool. No, I'm getting attention because there's so many people out there saying the opposite. And they're not saying the opposite. A lot of people say the same thing because, interestingly enough, if you study the successful people, my network is ridiculous, right? Like, people say your network is your net worth. Not necessarily.
Yeah, your network's net worth is astronomical. I get it.
Yeah, but I mean, it could mean something, but that's only if you have integrity. That's only if you bring value. That's only if you do what you say you're going to do. Because you can know a lot of people and they could all think you're a dick. And guess what? Your network isn't getting you anything. So at the end of the day, I know a lot of people, and I've had a lot of conversations. I've had a lot of tequila with some of these billionaires. And when you start, drinking the tequila and hanging out at the beach and hanging out late night, you start to get the real information that they don't say on stage. They don't say in their books. It's real. And guess what? That's the value. And let me tell you something. They all agree. There's no secret. Everybody already knows how do you win. Everybody already knows. The difference is nobody wants to do it because it's uncomfortable, man. It's uncomfortable. People say, oh, I'll do anything to get rich. Oh, really? Do this for 16 years straight. Well, shit, I ain't doing that.
Exactly.
Well, then sit down. I always say, bro.
Your message is extremely easy to consume. Everything you put out, it turns to gold for a reason. And a lot of people, I think this is the biggest thing I've learned in my career is I can learn more from watching somebody, sometimes more than actually listening to them. So if you don't follow Brad, you need to follow him on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, follow his podcast, because watching what he does has helped me grow. It's helped a lot of people grow. Brad's got a kick-ass company. It's the best in the business. Brad, where can people find you on social media? What are your links?
Well, first, Luke, let me just say thanks for those wonderful compliments.
Absolutely.
You can find me on social media. Just type in The Real Brad Lea. The name spelled Lea. You can go to my Facebook page, at The Real Brad Lea. I just started a new show called Making Moves. I'm going to document. It's a docu-series where all these people I'm dealing with and everything I'm doing to grow my company into $1 billion deal, I'm documenting. So there's an awesome docu-series coming out called Making Moves. It's 4 episodes are already out. You ought to go check that out. Dropping Bombs. Come listen to my podcast. Go to iTunes and subscribe and rate it. And, hit me up on Instagram. I think that's my favorite platform.
Yeah, absolutely. Brad's show, Making Moves, you have to watch it. He literally shows the ugly shit that might happen in a deal, the interesting stuff to where he's closing people. You literally show everything. It's something that you have to see. The podcast, I was on it a couple weeks ago. Steve Stevens was on it. Everything you put out on there is, and it's one of the top-rated podcasts. So you're well in the top 100 now, I believe, right?
Yeah, it's getting up there. Hey, also, if you want to get on my mailing list, and I don't sell you stuff and spam you or
yeah,
sell
please tell.
this.
I saw this today. Please tell me.
Yeah, all you have to do is text the word success to 96,000.
Awesome. And I would highly suggest that for everybody listening today or watching today. Listen, this podcast, it's on iTunes. You got to go rate us. You got to subscribe to us. Let us know what you think. Leave us a review. I bring on guests like Brad Lea and Matt Monero and Amanda Bucci every single week. And I can't help more people if more people don't see who we are and the way that we grow, just like Brad Podcast has, is by subscribing, rating, leaving a review. You can also watch us live on Facebook as well as on YouTube. Check out Luke Nestler on both of those channels, and as well as check out Brad Lea. Check out Lightspeed VT. What's the URL for Lightspeed, Brad? Where can people learn about your platform if you got a customer listening?
Lightspeedvt.com. Awesome. Hey, check this out too, Luke. I'm starting up what's called the Lightspeed Army.
I love it. I've heard a little bit about this. Is it going to happen?
I can show you some sneak peek stuff if you don't tell nobody.
All right. Secret.
You want to see it real quick?
I do. Do you want me to put it on the podcast?
Sure, you can put it on the podcast. It's not fully ready. I'm just going to show you a little sneak peeky peek. Thanks to Zoom, I can share my screen with you. So I just go like this here, bam, and then I go here real quick. I'm going to share it with you. The Lightspeed Army, my man, right here. See, you're going to list, wage war on mediocrity, and we're going to pay you. Ultimately, how it works is you get a link, you share it out to people that you know that might want to train people better, monetize their content, learn whatever they need. Because obviously we have the top knowledge in the business. And then I'm going to rank people. So you start out as a private, and as you share the link out and people start buy-in because of you, you're going to move up corporal, sergeant, master sergeant, major, lieutenant, colonel, all the way up to general, and I'm going to pay you for the life of that revenue. So really all you have to do is frickin' get your custom link and share it out.
I love it.
Did I share that or no?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. I'll put the link. Send me the link to that, and I'll put it in the podcast description, and we'll make that happen. Hey guys,
it's not ready yet. Who's on the phone? Ken Shamrock?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Hey, there's my next meeting. You got one too.
Yes, sir. Hey, I
You guys
appreciate
are
it, Brad.
awesome. Thanks for having me, Luke.
Yes, sir. We'll talk to you soon, man. We'll see you in Vegas.
See you, buddy.
Bye-bye.